Hey everybody, and welcome to day 23 of this 31 and 31, and I've moved locations just for this shot. You can see Mr. Elvis back there, some Funko Pops. Excuse me, but for today, I am watching Borderland. And Borderland is an interesting movie in that I didn't know what to expect, and that it was actually the most violent out of all the movies that I've seen so far. And what do I mean by violent? I mean, if you like dismemberment, and you like ankles being fucking sliced open, then this is fucking for you. That was the hardest thing to watch. It's that and like nails through feet are the hardest things. Anything to do with your feet, oh, they're terrible. They're like the worst possible things to see on a horror movie. I decided to run a poll on the Twitter to see if you agree with me or you think that there's something else. Make sure you go out there and you vote if you've got a Twitter and if you're following me. Yeah, what is Borderland about? So it's weird because it kind of starts off, one, it's about Mexican cults, and it's about a Mexican cult that's making sacrifices to bring back, like, he's doing it for his Nagana, I think is how you pronounce it, N-G-A-N-A, or N-G, I'm trying to think of it, N-G-A-N-G-A, I think some like Naga or something like that. I'll write it down on the bottom of this thing or type it out. But so they're trying to build it for this because it's going to make them immortal or invisible or something like invincible. And they kill somebody at the beginning of the movie, and it's really gruesome. Like, it is really, really gruesome what they do to the guy. And you see most of it, which I was extremely surprised about. Like, I thought, there's no way that they're going to show this stuff. And the only thing they didn't show was a head decapitation. And I can't say that fucking word right now. And then, so you see that, they leave the cop, one of the cops, it's two cops, leave him alive, and then it goes to a year later, or sometime later, whatever it is. And we get to meet our three main characters of the movie. One happens to be Ryder Strong. There's also, I forgot the two other guys. One of the guys is kind of like, I think it's Brian Presely is one of the other guys that's there, and then I can't remember the third guy. But they're at like a bonfire, and they decide that they're going to go down to Mexico, cross the borderland, right? They're going to go to the border town right there, and they're going to go be debaucherous, where they can drink, they can do drugs, and they can get with the sexy Mexican women, especially since they're trying to get Ryder Strong's character, Phil, to get laid for the first time. And, things just don't go as they go, and the cult gets involved. I just want to leave it there. I could go in a little bit more of what happens to them to that point. But basically, the cult gets involved and things go really crazy, really kind of haywire. And like I said, violence and gore-wise, this is, if you like gore, this is probably one of the ones that you're going to like. I enjoyed it. The other surprising actor I found on this was Sean Astin. Sean Astin shows up. Rudy himself, Samwise himself, shows up as a bad guy. And, at one point I thought I heard myself chanting, Rudy, Rudy, and realizing I shouldn't be doing that because he's, like, killing a guy over there. So yeah, that's not necessarily the time to be chanting Rudy, right? But it was weird to see him in this role, and I thought that he actually did the role pretty well. I think the acting overall was pretty good. The main guy, Ed, played by, I believe, Brian Presely, he was probably my least favorite out of all of them. Ryder Strong, I think he did a good job for what he was given and what his role entailed. But other than that, I mean, everybody else was kind of okay. I like that, they kept using Spanish as much as possible in certain situations, and that it just was pretty ruthless overall. Though it seems like it only saved the ruthlessness for some of like up close dismemberment things. But even though one guy gets it pretty bad too, even though it doesn't really get well, yeah, he does get dismembered. So yeah, whenever the machetes come out, that's when shit goes down. So I think that it's on Tubi, and one thing I want to say right now is I watched a lot of these movies on Tubi, right? And it's and they're not a sponsor, they don't do anything for me, whatever. I'm just saying right away, those guys know how to interject commercials because it's free movies, but you got to watch like 30 to 45 seconds, sometimes up to a minute of ads, which is okay. I mean, YouTube does that shit to you all the time, but YouTube I'm just going to put ad here, I'm just going to put a fucking ad there, hey, here an ad, there an ad, everywhere an ad, and sometimes it'll be in the middle of a fucking sentence, then all of a sudden it's an ad. And Tubi has really good spots where they take out the ads for the whole thing. So overall, I'm going to give this film, it's a 3 out of 5 eyeballs. It does a pretty good job. it still gets a little slow towards the end, and I wasn't very happy with the resolution of the film. So thank you guys very much for watching. We'll check you out next time on one of these 31 and 31, I guess 31 Nights of Horror. All right, see you later.